Miles is a fantastic motocross rider, and this morning he is competing in a race, but the chain on his bike breaks, losing the race. Frustrated, he watches the winner celebrate his victory. His father Jack approaches the winner named Sam to ask him for an extra chain because they are quite poor. Although Sam tries to give him the chain, his father is incredibly rude and he refuses to give his rivals a gift. Miles and Jack feel discouraged, but a girl named Sarah steals the chain and gives it to them. They quickly repair the bike and they prepare for the next race. Everyone races with great skill. Sam is in the lead and Miles follows. It looks like the race is tied, but Miles manages to take the lead and win the race. Sam congratulates him and he invites him to a party later, but Miles declines. His father advises him to go, saying that this will help him make acquaintances in the world of motocross. In the research lab, one of the research lab dogs, Axel, has escaped. Scientist Andrik immediately sends a search team to retrieve the roaming robot dog. Later that evening, Miles attends Sam's party, but the boy is not having much fun. He watches Sam and his friends use a blowtorch to burn a damaged car, laughing and filming the whole thing. Miles decides to explore the house and he admires Sam's collection of expensive motorcycles. He meets Sarah and the two teenagers have a nice chat, getting to know each other a little. Back home, Miles talks to his father that it is unfair that he cannot be the best rider in the country because they are poor. One morning, Sam invites Miles to a ranch to practice motocross. While Miles is distracted, Sam's friends add something to the tank of his motorcycle. Miles did not notice what happened, so he starts practicing on the dirt track. Unfortunately, suddenly his bike shuts down, causing him to have a terrible accident. To make matters worse, Sam and his friends film the accident and leave Miles lying on the ground in pain and making fun of him. After removing the corrupted fluid from his tank and topping up with fuel, Miles tries to start the bike, but it seems completely inoperable. As he tries to figure out what to do, he hears a noise coming from an abandoned container nearby. Miles goes over to check it out and to his surprise, he finds a giant robotic dog. Frightened, Miles tries to run away and the dog Axel starts chasing him. Miles keeps driving until Axel is wounded. Feeling guilty, Miles goes back to help the injured dog and he discovers that the robot was about to self-destruct. In a touching moment, Miles gains the dog's trust, so he stops the countdown and saves Axel's life. Axel connects to Miles' phone, and the boy learns how to repair his new robotic friend. The next day, Sam and his friends make a video of Miles' accident and joke about it, but Sarah interrupts them and she asks Sam where Miles is. Meanwhile, Miles continues to work on Axel's repairs. When he finally finishes, Miles removes the muzzle and he discovers that the robot dog has weapons inside its mouth. However, Axel does not harm Miles, and the two unlikely friends spend a lot of time playing together and getting to know each other. Unfortunately, having been out in the open too long, Crane Systems scientists manage to find them. Agent Berman prepares to destroy Axel's system, but Andrik stops him and he tells him that he is interested in seeing how Axel interacts with a human. Andrik thinks Miles is a good guinea pig for their experiment and to test their amazing robot. Meanwhile, Sarah arrives looking for Miles, but Axel sees her and he almost attacks the girl. Fortunately, Miles stops the dog and he tells him that Sarah is a friend. Axel calms down and his eyes turn blue. Later that evening, Miles and Sarah discuss what to do with Axel. Sarah thinks they should return him, but Miles points out bullet holes on the pseudo-animal's body, which is clear that Axel was not treated well from where he escaped. After the discussion, the couple dances and the love they feel for each other is evident. The scene is observed in the lab where Berman suggests giving Miles and Sarah a reward for finding the robot and then taking Axel away. But Andrik says the dog is becoming extremely intelligent through human contact. So the scientists decide that they will continue to observe them for a while longer, wanting to see how the robotic creature evolves. The next morning, Miles and Sarah cover Axel with a sheet and take him with them. They stop at a gas station and Axel tamper with the gas station so that he does not have to pay for gas. The dog does the same with the ATM, much to the boys' delight. Meanwhile, Joanna, Sarah's mother, asks Sam where her daughter is, and the boy shows that he can track Sarah with a GPS. Sarah and Miles go to an abandoned house where the girl does some graffiti. Axel watches her drawings in curiosity, and he follows all the different movements of the girl's hands. Then the dog shows Crane Systems a presentation of himself and the purpose of the robot dog. They realize that Axel was designed as a weapon to kill other humans on the battlefield. Axel gives a biometric device to Miles. This device allows them to be permanently connected wherever they are. Suddenly Sam arrives at the abandoned house and he acts aggressively. Sarah confronts Sam and Miles releases Axel to defend the girl. The dog is ready to defend his masters, but Miles orders him not to attack and Sam leaves. Meanwhile, Patrick rejoices that the dog carries out all of Miles' orders perfectly, but Berman points out that Miles could have used Axel to kill Sam. Sarah is angry with Miles because her mother Joanna works as a housekeeper for Sam's family and that the incident could cause problems for her family. She thinks it would be a good idea to inform an adult about the situation. They leave Axel at the abandoned house and decide to talk to Miles' father. Later Sam and his friends return, determined to get revenge by attacking Axel. But when the dog sees Sam, he refrains from attacking, because Miles had ordered him not to harm the human being. Sam pours a large amount of fuel on the ground and he draws the dog toward him. Sam asks his friends to broadcast live what he is about to do. He wields his flamethrower to burn the poor robot. Meanwhile, Miles and Sarah are at Shaq's and tell him the truth about the robot dog. Shaq advises them to take Axel back to the army, otherwise they might get into trouble. Suddenly, Sarah watches Sam's live video and she realizes what is happening. She and Miles rush to Axel, but they forget to bring the biometric scanner. At the abandoned house, Sam burns Axel until his systems are damaged and the dog dies. The two scientists watching the events can do nothing but scream at the screen for losing their technological jewel. Miles and Sarah arrive to find Axel completely burned and damaged. Fortunately, the dog is still alive, so they put him on the vehicle. Meanwhile, a government agent arrives at Shaq's house showing a gun and questions him about the robot. Shaq notices the biometric scanner left on the table. The agent searches the garage, but Shaq threatens him with a bow and he orders him to drop the weapon. Patrick screams in anger as he sees things getting out of hand, and Berman secretly writes an email to Captain Weber. Meanwhile, Miles and Sarah take Axel to a 3D printing warehouse where they design and print parts to repair Axel's damaged body. Axel pops up a message that he has been repaired and that rebooting his operating system will take less than 3 hours. While they wait for the reboot, the two teenagers embrace and have fun. Now that Axel is active, Andrik spots him and he sends more agents to retrieve the robot. Miles and Sarah hide from the agents, and when they are about to capture Axel, the robot reboots and knocks them out with the help of the teens. Axel controls his memory and he prepares to kill Sam for what the bully did to him. Miles and Sarah follow the can to prevent him from doing anything serious. Meanwhile, Sam and his friends find themselves at a party. Suddenly Axel arrives and he sows panic, but his only target is Sam. Miles and Sarah arrive and they find Sam fighting Axel. Sam targets Axel with a flamethrower, but unfortunately he has run out of fuel. Miles intervenes and he stops Axel before the dog can kill Sam. Suddenly a fleet of drones attacks Axel. Andrik watches as the drones use electric shocks to stop Axel. Military agents arrive to muzzle Axel and take him away with the two teenagers. At the lab, Andrik asks Miles to give him the biometric key, but Miles tries to explain that Axel is a living creature with intelligence and needs care to survive. Andrik, on the other hand, insists that Axel is just a machine. When Miles refuses to give Andrik the biometric key, he locks Sarah in a laser cage, ordering Axel to attack her if she tried to escape. But Sarah uses the laser to create the graffiti she had made at the abandoned house. The robot dog recognizes her movements and he realizes that she is a friend. Axel attacks Andrik and Berman, causing Miles and Sarah to escape. Soon Andrik and Berman are captured by the army, because Berman had told Captain Weber everything. Meanwhile, Miles, Sarah, and Axel find motorcycles and attempt to escape from the army. Sarah decides to surrender to buy time and allow the other two to escape. The officers pursue Miles and Axel. The two both fall off a cliff and Miles is seriously injured. The robot dog scans Miles' body and he discovers that the boy has a broken arm. The dog tries to help him, but Miles tells him to leave. Axel runs away, but a group of drones attacks him. Before self-destructing, Axel says goodbye to Miles, his only human friend in this world. Weber accuses Andrik of publishing Axel's codes on the dark web. Meanwhile, Miles and Sarah decide to attend the same art school. Weber reveals that she assured the two teenagers of an education because they could be useful for their future plans. Andrik declares that Axel's code must be found now. Before the evolved artificial intelligence, Axel, finds the boys first. On a beach, Miles receives the biometric scanner from his father and he activates it. To the couple's surprise, they receive notifications from Axel on their phone. They smile, which means the dog is still alive, and he has found his human friends. What robotic animal would you like to have as a friend? Write it in the comments.